So the electromagnetic spectrum is just a name for a range of waves that all have the same speed, but they vary in wavelength and frequency. So you could represent them on a diagram having long waves, but getting shorter and closer together like this until they're very, very close together. And obviously the wavelength changes, the frequency changes, but the speed does not. And on my diagram, technically the amplitude should not change either. It's just that I'm not great at drawing waves. So what we're looking at is which ones have the longest wavelength. They are the radio waves. Microwaves come next, then infrared. Visible light is a tiny little section in the middle there. Then you've got ultraviolet and X-rays, and then gamma rays. So you can make up any kind of mnemonic to remember these, or there are some really good singing videos online on YouTube which you can also use to help you remember them. You do need to know the order. You need to know which ones have the longest wavelength. So the longest wavelength is the radio waves. The ones that have the longest wavelength also have the lowest frequency and therefore carry the least amount of energy. If they carry the least amount of energy, that just basically means that they are the least dangerous. And obviously that's helpful because we don't really want all of those radio waves that are travelling through our head and everything else on a daily basis to affect us. On the other end of the scale, you've got gamma waves. These have a very high frequency and they have a very high amount of energy that they're carrying. And that means that they have a very short wavelength. In terms of gamma rays, they are generally used to kill off things, and that's why we can do that, because they have a high amount of energy. So most dangerous, least dangerous here. They're all used for completely different things, and depending on kind of what their frequency, how much energy they carry, and what you need them to do. You need to know uses and dangers of each of them. So the dangers of generally radio waves and microwaves is that they say there are none, not really for radio waves that we know of anyway. Microwaves obviously can be, you can burn yourself with them. If you were to stick your hand in a microwave, it wouldn't be very good, but they are generally given no dangers because we use them every day in a communication format anyway. Infrared can burn you. Visible light, that can actually blind you, so it can cause some damage to your eyes. Ultraviolet is the same kind of thing that can also burn you, but most of all, it does cause cataracts, and it also has premature aging, and it can give you skin cancer as well if you get too much exposure to your skin. X-rays, they can damage cells, and you must use the word damage for that one, because the gamma rays are the ones that kill cells. So that's important when you are dealing with which ones you're using in a medical context. X-rays are generally used to look at bone structure. If you have a broken bone or anything like that, then X-rays would be the ones that you would use because they don't tend to kill off the cells. They will just pass through them. Gamma rays are used to kill cells, so they can be used to sterilize medical equipment, because what you can do is you can send the gamma rays all the way through the medical equipment. They won't be affected by the metal, they will just simply kill off the bacteria in that cell. But they can also be used to kill human tissues as well. If there is a tumour or anything else close by that needs to be killed, you can use gamma rays on a focused dose straight to the tumour, and that will help it to be killed off.